All right, so the Lions, reason they ain't won the championship, um, the reason they not more ahead of the curve is the injuries. Going into this week versus the Cowboys, they got 7 injuries. You know what I'm saying? Or 7 players not showing up for practice. Amara St. Brown, Dan Campbell said if he can play, he'll play with a high ankle sprain. I mean, Kirby Joseph returned. Then he was a no-show at this practice. They opened up Shane Zelstra, the tight end, 21-day window. He has a return to practice. Tuel and Decker, they both on rest day. So that's 5 players. The other 2 guys were pretty insignificant. And this has pretty much been the story of why, for the most part, probably why they didn't beat San Francisco. Why they didn't beat Washington last year after going 15-2 has been injuries. Injuries is, it's killing them. So when you bringing in young guys in their prime and they dealing with injuries, and then what's also going on, they paying guys, they paying them and they getting injured. Damn near everybody they paid, not named Goff, it seemed like dealing with an injury. So, he playing through an ankle, you know what I'm saying? Decker stayed injured. They paid him not too long ago, it feel like. David Montgomery, he got injured after they paid him, and then they gave him extension, and then they phased him out. Obviously, the front office and the coaching staff, they could have been ready to cut David Montgomery and hand the keys to Jahmyr Gibbs, which, in my opinion, is a bad decision, but no here nor there. If you watch the channel, you know my stance on them together. No Diddy. Who else we got? They paid Kirby Joseph. Apparently, he injured. They paid DJ Reed. He got injured. They paid DJ Reader. He came off. He tore his quad the second time, coming off a quad injury. Started when started the season behind the 8-ball last year. Paid Lee McNeil, got injured. Paid Aiden Hutchinson. He stopped producing. Just paid St. Brown, got injured. Oh man, I'm pretty sure if I think hard enough, drafted Josh Pascal, injured. Paid Marcus Davenport, played a couple snaps, got injured, came back, nobody noticed. So that's what's really been killing the Lions. And is it, the fact that they have an infatuation with injury-prone players, where Brad Holmes have talked about, his career being ended by a car accident, and this is why he kind of favors towards those guys. Ennis Rackstraw, Terrion Arnold out for the season. Always, both of them always out. Rackstraw barely even ever touched the field. So, yeah, when we start having those discussions, it has a lot to do with Brad and, going out his way and intentionally picking injured players. I mean, when they first got here, the reason it took them so long to have a win was, think about it. They blame Anthony Lynn on a lot of the play calling. They scapegoated him. And maybe the conversation went like this, different than John Morton. Okay, look here. I'm going to take the play calling over from you. You will just be here, and then we'll let you go at the end of the season. Anthony Lynn was like, I ain't going to let you disrespect me like that. Fire me, and they got rid of him, got the rest of his paper, got another, joined another staff. John Morton was like, I sit here, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like, people don't remember they didn't win a game because the play calling was messed up for Anthony Lynn and Dan Campbell to Ben Johnson. They won a game because they added a receiver. They added Josh Reynolds. That's why they won that game. And when Jared Goff went down that season, Tim Boyle really turned up Amon-Ra St. Brown. Once again, St. Brown didn't really get his feet wet until Tim Boyle came quarterback. Go look at it. I think Goff got injured in the Pittsburgh game and Boyle started leaning on Amon-Ra St. Brown. And that was really, Tim Boyle was that was his coming out party, was Tim Boyle. People tend to forget that. That's a fact. So then him and Goff kind of hit it off from there. So, I mean, it's crazy. This is historically been who they are. Tyrell Williams was the guy they was leaning on to be the receiver. He played, I guess, a couple snaps with a couple snaps week 1 when we played the 49ers. He got injured. Then they before that, they rushed to get Trinity Benson, and then they traded, future capital. He didn't do anything. So you started to look around and you started to really look around at some of the talent and some of the things, it's always been that second year, when they had that start, they had the slow start. And that's the year that Carolina ran them over, and they was going to make the playoffs. The Buffalo game, they kind of, flamed out at the Buffalo game, and then they stopped Green Bay from going to the playoffs. People forget that season. Everybody was injured before they snapped the football that season. I mean, and then everybody felt like flies in that Minnesota game. Y'all forgot? Everybody got injured that Minnesota game. That's a fact. Everybody was already injured, and the rest of everybody lost that game. I think that's the game where Minnesota came all the way back, and I think maybe KJ Osborne scored a game-winning touchdown from Kirk Cousins. The reason they didn't make a playoff run that year was because everybody was injured coming in. A lot of prominent guys was injured coming into the season, and a lot of people got injured in that game. A lot of people got injured in that game. So that was crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it's just been injuries. And is it practice habits? I think it can be that. It can be practice habits. It can be poor practice habits. They practice too hard. I mean, we go back to Avonte Maddox telling St. Brown when somebody laid a colossal hit on Jahmyr Gibbs in practice. He said that'll never happen in Philly. And St. Brown was saying, hey, I thought that was normal. He said, no, the Lions practice too hard. So when people kind of talk about Campbell's, his infatuation with being aggressive, I have no issue with it, because you can't lean on field goal kickers all the time. I don't have an issue with it, because a lot of the plays they cook up, they good plays. Other than them, they kept doing 4th and short and handing it off to Jahmyr Gibbs, which that's the dumbest shit in the world when the middle offensive line is ill and it's not that good, right? But that 4th down play, they had Brock Wright screaming across wide open in front of Jared Goff's face, and he throws it to St. Brown. They called some good plays on 4th down. Jameson Williams could have changed the Packer game. Goff hit him on the back hip instead of hitting him in stride, which he still should have caught it. But he throw on the back hip. You got a guy who momentum is taking him up the field, and you throw it to his back hip. Come on now. I feel like if he knew Goff was going to throw an inaccurate ball, I even if he caught it and fell down, I still don't think he would have had enough for the first down. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's what it is, man. It's just injuries. And I also think the biggest coaching loophole that people don't talk about with Dan Campbell, the biggest loophole is his inability to tone down practice. See, Philly's still a physical football team, and they don't have all these injuries. So what is Philly doing that we not doing? We got to practice hard, and we got to do all this monstrous hitting. You know what I'm saying? And we dropping like flies. It's him. He has to make the adjustment. You can talk about the strength and conditioning coach. They're practicing too hard. And Brad Holmes also put more icing on the cake by not only just practicing too hard, but also he put more icing on the cake by drafting, Mr. Glass ass players. He drafted Anthony Davis every year. Just think about a lot of the developmental players he picked. He drafted, just thinking about it. Sonoy Vaki, he often been injured. Manu Giovanni had one start at left tackle versus Cincinnati. He went on IR. Miles Frazier, he been down. Makai Wingo, he went down. I mean, this is crazy, man. But hey, check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Hit the link tree. Find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, the whole 9. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist for more videos like this. Appreciate the love, support. Let me know what you girls and guys think in the comment section. Peace.